well, you've been with Nike for a long time now. First signature shoe, I think 2014.
Yep.
Was that something you kind of always aspired to when you got in the NBA? Like, I want my own shoe, or
No,
not so much?
I kind of had pictured myself of doing what everyone else had doing at that point of just wearing Nike shoes and
Right.
kind of wearing Jordans when, I was just happy that I was getting a box of Nike sent to my house. And I was just a happy athlete. I'm like, hey, man, this is awesome. And then when they approached me, I thought it was interesting to hear about how their process works, about how they identify an athlete. They have like these focus groups of like, oh, what do you think about him? And it's like weird to think about, but it's like, what do you think about him? And they have these group of kids of 14-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Like, what do you think about Kyrie? And then they have they have the reception, and then they put out certain narratives about you that you would like to see on shoes. So I had an Australia shoe come out, I had a New Jersey shoe come out, I had a family shoe come out. That sold pretty well. And then Nike was like, hey, we want to give you your own shoe. I was like, okay, cool.
And it's been one of the fastest growing shoes at Nike. I talked to somebody, it's when it first came out, it sold like crazy. And I talked to people who said, it'll slow down. It's just the new shoe on the block. It'll slow down. Next year, I'd talk to the same people. That Kyrie shoe's still selling pretty well. I talked to them this year. They said, everybody's down. LeBron, KD, Steph, all the top guys. Everybody's signature shoe's down, except for Kyrie. The only one who's up. What? Why? What's going on? you can pat yourself on the back. Or what?
I respect those guys. But I think that the direction and vision that I have for my particular brand at Nike is something that I don't think they've seen before. I'm really hands-on. I'm really intimate with that group. I believe that. I'm trying to think about how to best say this. I think how Nike has progressed over the years. I think that when I came in, I was more I had a collaborative mindset. Instead of those guys having separate teams of, okay, I have a guy for my materials, I have a guy for my shoes. I was like, well, if we're all in one team and we're all building this together, why don't we all have an open conversation? That way, if it's something that creatively you can input or you have input on this particular thing over here, like apparel, then let's do it.
Right.
Let's figure out how do we work better as a team rather than just having the old school kind of ideal like work environment. Like you go here, I go here, and then we go in our office. And I just told them, I said, guys, you have to get out of the office. Like you have to get out of the freaking office. Get out of Portland, man. Like you got to go and see the culture outside to have inspiration and influence. So once they did that, then it started kind of progressing over time. But I've had pretty historic, iconic Nike meetings where I've just gone in and just like mother effed everybody, like no, and then like, and then as a 24-year-old, like kid at the time, and you're just like, did I just say that to the vice president of Nike? Like, are we gonna be okay? And my agent's looking at me like, I'm like, yeah. So just working those relationships better so that the brand can stay where it's going, and that's just ascending all the time.
Right. So the price point on a lot of your shoes are lower than some of those other guys. Is that something? What part of the process do you get involved in and enjoy the most with creating a signature shoe?
Well, I think you have to keep the intimacy with the younger generation because they push that culture forward in terms of shoes and things that are hot. Things that are nice, that they like a lot. And I really, really try to position myself with them because I watch a lot of their highlights. I watch a lot of what they're doing. I watch a lot of the trends. I try to have a mix in that and then push it out towards them and then have them be the dictators of how it is received. So it's been an awesome experience to learn from and learn about in terms of a business. I'm thinking about, creating a particular shoe or a particular thing, and then Nike's thinking, like, how do we sell this? So I have to sell this new colorway to them so they feel comfortable selling this shoe.
Right.
It's like, okay, you have a selfish mindset, I want to do this, and then you realize that it's a lot bigger and you're not getting anywhere without understanding that those positions that they're in it for a reason. They have a lot of knowledge, ask questions, learn about the business, learn about how it works, learn about how Nike works in and out from, obviously Phil Knight, he's not necessarily hands-on, but, I've always imagined myself of doing things that make myself proud but make him proud as well, and just having the Nike brand be proud to have me as an athlete.
Right.